In this video, we will learn how to use the schedule trigger. The schedule trigger is designed to use a time-based approach to trigger our workflows so that we can make it happen at a regular interval. That regular interval could be once per year, once per month, once per day, once per minute, whatever your requirement is, but it will trigger your workflow to happen so that it happens fully autonomously and it's not required that you manually trigger it or that you submit a workflow request via a webhook or anything like that. It just happens regularly. So here we have an existing workflow, and that existing workflow is manually triggered. Every time I click the execute workflow button, it will run this workflow. Now we want it to happen on a schedule. So we're going to clear this execution. We're going to remove the manual trigger, and we're going to add a schedule trigger. And we're just going to connect that up here so that we know it's in the right place. Now, the schedule trigger gives us a little bit of information to be able to determine when this runs. We can choose what the interval might be, whether it's seconds, minutes, hours, days, so on, or even just a custom particular time. So you can set it very specifically and say it must occur in this kind of an interval. So every 13 or something or other. You can define that frequency. We're going to keep it simple and say it needs to run every day. And you can choose how many days occur between the times it gets triggered. I'm going to trigger it every single day, so it's just going to be one day. It's going to trigger at midnight. Now you want to be careful to know what the time zone is of the midnight, because most likely it's going to be where this workflow is hosted, or where your N8N is hosted, and not where your time is. So be careful that you know exactly where this is going to be. And then you can define it at a very specific minute as well. So if we save this now, then this should run every single night at midnight. It's going to be very hard to prove that because we're not at midnight right now, but we should be able to execute this to prove that it still does what it's supposed to do. And so we can execute it, test it, know that it's correct. And when we're happy with it, then we can make the workflow active. And from this moment on, the N8N knows to trigger this workflow at the time you specified, and it's going to do it that very time. So that's a really simple way of putting automation into your workflows to avoid having to manually trigger anything. Hopefully you found this useful. Please like and subscribe.